Hey, this is Larry Osborne here with another one of our daily doses, and we're continuing our look at what we're calling hidden gems. And I want to share with you one that I learned many years ago out of the book of Ezekiel. It's just a couple of verses, and there's a section there where the Lord is using the prophet Ezekiel to rail on the people in their high-handed sin and disobedience. And then he says this through Ezekiel: I looked for someone among them who would build up the wall and stand before me in the gap on behalf of the land, so I would not have to destroy it. But I found no one. So I'm going to pour out my wrath on them and consume them with my fiery anger, bringing down on their own heads all they have done, declares the sovereign Lord. Well, you see, the history of this was the Lord had warned the children of Israel that when they went into the promised land, if they followed him, he would bless them. And if they didn't, and they turned towards the idols and the demon gods of the other nations around, then he would walk away from them, and he would even turn them over to the nations that they were, as it were, flirting with. You want them to be your God? Great, see what happens. Well, that's exactly what happened, and Ezekiel is speaking into the Israelites during one of their times of discipline and exile. And what jumps out at me at this passage is a simple statement that the Lord would have withheld his judgment if he could have found just one righteous man to stand in the gap and to plead for them. And what that tells me is the incredible power that the righteousness of one person can have. If you're a father, if you're a mother, if you're a grandparent, if you're a son in a home that seems to be very broken, or a daughter, I want you to understand that you have that ability to stand in the gap and pray on behalf of those who otherwise might face the judgment of God. And you can hold it off for a period of time. I think of a well-known story of the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. You do realize that the Lord would have withheld that judgment if he could have found just 10 righteous people there. That's all it took. In all of the godlessness, just 10 righteous people would have spared his judgment. I've often wondered what impact my own prayers or my own walk with God, as I do the best I can, has had upon my children, has had upon not only my extended family, but maybe even this community. You see, if God would have withheld his judgment for just 10 in Sodom and Gomorrah, think what 10 or 15 of us could do just on our own community. I wonder sometimes upon our own nation. I encourage you to understand the incredible spiritual power that righteousness has, not only in our own relationship with the Lord, but in the way that he deals with others. You see, the little things matter. And people like you and like me who think, well, we're just little people, we don't have that much impact. We really do. Stand in the gap. Who knows the impact that you might have?